Prime Minister vows to pressure over the disastrous mini-budget that sent the pound plummeting as markets rallied to the news that she's gone. The first round of the latest Conservative leadership vote has been slated for next Monday.
We delivered on energy bills and on cutting national insurance. And we set out a vision for a low-tax, high-growth economy that would take advantage of the freedoms of Brexit. I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
Why has Liz Truss become the UK's shortest serving Prime Minister? Well, because she simply lost the trust, no pun intended, of her own party, the trust of the markets, particularly after the presentation of that mini-budget on the 23rd of September with her first Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng, a budget that she carefully planned and worked on with him. And yet her second Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, appointed last Friday afternoon, this Monday, deleted, shredded just about every single tax-cutting unfunded measure that was in that mini-budget. Of course, the pound since then took a battering against the dollar, against the euro. The Bank of England had to intervene. So many questions, so much disquiet within the party itself and within the markets. But yet a little bit more calm since Jeremy Hunt. That had bought her a little bit of breathing space, but ultimately it wasn't to be. We were here in Downing Street 45 days ago when Liz Truss came out to that very same podium that she came out to today. But today's really resignation was sudden. There were rumours, there was speculation, but just about nobody saw it coming that quickly. And the fact that she said herself she could not implement that mandate. She wanted to be controversial, she wanted to be a disruptor. That is not clearly what the party or the country felt it needed. And yes, tonight we have a Prime Minister that is still there. She's still in office, but clearly not in power, and the whole process of finding a successor, Tory leader and de facto Prime Minister, since the Tories have a majority in Parliament, is now underway. And by 2 p.m. on Monday, that is when candidates will have to have 100 nominations in order to try and become that next Tory leader and British Prime Minister.
Now,
Well, the process that took place in the summer was already heavily criticised. This is a country with 10.1% inflation, rolling postal strikes, numerous and regular now train strikes, tube strikes, looming nurse strikes. And basically what we've got is a very difficult international context, there's no doubt, with the hikes in energy prices of electricity and gas, particularly because of the war in Ukraine. How this process is going to be very different is that by next Friday there must be a successor. So, as I said, it starts by 2 p.m. Basically, we will have 1, 2 or 3 candidates. If we have one candidate, then it becomes a coronation, and we have a new Tory leader and a new Prime Minister by Monday afternoon or evening. However, there is such division within the Conservative Party that doesn't look terribly likely. We will have to see. So it would mean that there would then be some sort of election, a runoff, and then it would be put to the membership. Of course, that system did not work well. It chose Liz Truss, the membership did, but she was the number 3 choice of the parliamentary party. So let's see how this one works. And who is in the fray? Well, Rishi Sunak, the former Chancellor, who was one of the first to resign in the Boris Johnson government, he is the favourite of the bookies. Another name is that of the leader of the House of Commons, Penny Mordaunt. She apparently is taking soundings. We have, perhaps rather extraordinarily, Boris Johnson's name being put out there. He's in the Caribbean, but I understand making his way back to the United Kingdom. Of course, Boris Johnson, that has the small matter of a parliamentary investigation that still hasn't been finished on him about whether he misled Parliament, amongst others about Partygate, but he apparently is letting his name be mentioned, and his allies are not saying whether he is ruling it in, but nor are they survey denying a possible candidacy, and apparently in the last few weeks he has let it be known that he thought that his time in office after that 2019 80-seat majority victory was too short and that he'd like to have, quote, another go. So who is going to have another go? We will find out in the coming days, and who is going to be the ultimate winner, we will find that out perhaps by Monday, more likely by Friday the 28th of October.